Hey everyone, it's your Movie Man Cam, and today we're going to be talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is the follow-up to War for the Planet of the Apes that came out in 2017, and this film takes place centuries after that film, around 300 years, and it follows Noah, which is a young ape who goes on a journey and begins to realize that the past that he knows might be a lie. Or at least the past that he was taught about might not be as true as he thinks that it is. And on this journey, he ends up coming across another orangutan as well as a young girl who doesn't speak that they call Nova. What's so fascinating about these new Planet of the Apes films is the motion capture and the fact that the previous trilogy really set up the Planet of the Apes stories, because as we know, the 60s and the 70s films of the Planet of the Apes really already take place years and years and years and years into the future and doesn't really tell us about the outbreak. But these films give us that opportunity to understand what happens before the world is taken over by these apes. And what's awesome about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is that this film is the first film in the new trilogy that is really going to connect itself to the films from the 60s. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was amazing. I think the world building in this one is really well done because it does still connect itself to the previous films in which Caesar is like almost a god to them in this world. Caesar is the ape that really set up everything that goes on within this movie, except for the fact that there is a group of apes that go against what Caesar had planned. One thing I did have to get used to in this film was the fact that the apes talk so fluently, but then I have to realize that it is because it's like around 300 years in the future, so obviously they are adapting and like evolving way more than the apes were in the previous trilogy. But in the previous trilogy, they almost, except for Caesar, they almost had a broken English, which I think went with the characters more, but I think that in this film, it makes a lot more sense that they do have a more fluent accent. It was just a little bit weird to get used to, but I got used to it pretty quickly. The big bad of this film is Proxima Caesar, played by Kevin Durant, who is an ape that is almost trying to take the place of Caesar, but being better and more of a cockier version. And in my opinion, Proxima Caesar is one of the better parts of the film, not story-wise or character-wise, but Kevin Durant's performance as Proxima Caesar is incredible. It was awesome to see that Kevin Durant was on the press tour and was in a lot of the press junkets, because even though his character wasn't in the film a whole lot, he was a big part of it because his performance is very exceptional. I think what Andy Serkis did with Caesar in the Planet of the Apes films was so monumental that I don't think we're gonna get a performance that is nearly as just incredible as his. But Kevin Durant did such an incredible job creating a character around this particular ape. There's something similar about this film and Rise of the Planet of the Apes, is that this particular film is a lot slower than the last two films, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes was also a slower film, but those films are what led to the next two masterpieces. And I think that's going to be the same with this film, because it's really setting up that sequel to be a just behemoth of a film. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was very good. I feel like there's so much that you can do with these films, and I think they're doing a really good job taking advantage of all the stuff that they could be doing to build this world. I think I like how the world was built more in Dawn and War, but I think to set up this next trilogy, it did an incredible job setting up characters, setting up their backstories. I think we're really going to be in for a treat in the next probably 6 years with the next two films. This was directed by Wes Ball, who also directed the Maze Runner films, and it really does feel similar to those films because those were also like a post-apocalyptic film, and this felt very similar to that, but so much better and different. Wes Ball is also the director of the upcoming Zelda film, so with this film, it really sets up the possibilities for that film, just considering his direction, because I think his direction in this film was pretty damn good. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was a very good film, and it's one that you really should go see in theaters, especially on the biggest screen possible. Thank you everyone for sticking around to the end of the video. The question of the day is, what is your favorite Planet of the Apes film? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Cameron, adding a new film to your watch list. See you in the next video.